Okay, so what we're looking at here is the gas spring. So these gas springs, the ideal location on the Leica scopes is going to be kind of in the mid-range, between 4 and 6. If you come to a scope right now, this is not the greatest example because it doesn't have a whole lot of weight on it, so it's balancing out around 2 or 3. But if we had all the weight on there, we'd be right around the 5 or 6 range. If it starts to creep upwards towards 6, 7, and above, realistically, it's a good indicator that the gas spring has failed. Another indicator is this shaft should be bone dry. And if there's grease there, there's an O-ring on the inside of this gas spring that has just broken down and the seal has given out. Now fluid is coming out the back. It will last for a good amount of time, but when I see that, I immediately change these. So if I'm doing a PM and I see that the gas spring is leaking, I will have it replaced every single time. So it should be bone dry and it should be right around 5 or 6. If it still feels dry, or maybe you see some residue from some grease from 4, and then you're at 8 or 9, same deal. You want to replace it. So this is consistent with the Zeiss microscopes as well. So the S100, the S7 has a gas spring in it. So on those gas springs are hidden a little bit. So a couple ways that I'd usually test is when I go for the PM, if I've been there on an annual basis and every single time I show up, I'm having to readjust that balance, it's a good indicator that the gas spring has failed and it's leaking. But you can also pop the covers off and you can peer in between the gap to see if there's grease on the backside of that shaft. If there is, then just replace it. So that's something I do typically on a PM as well. That's it.